One. What is up, everybody? I am Kevin Iole, and I'm making history here now because this is the second time in my career, over 40 years of covering combat sports, that I have interviewed somebody getting their hair done. Last time I did it, it was Claressa Shields, one of the greatest women boxers of all time. And right now it is maybe the greatest slap fighter of all time, Austin Turpin, Turp Daddy Slim. How are you, brother?
Come on, brother. You know I'm doing good. Living the dream down here in the dirty South, man. I got to look the part. You know, I'm going up against hillbilly Davy Jones, so I got to look sharp when I'm out there. You know, he's going to look like, you know, something out of the Predator. So I got to look sharp.
April 12th in Las Vegas, right, for that show.
Yes,
So
sir. Live and free on the Rumble app, April 12th.
we will see you on April 12th. So first thing I want to do, I covered for my site, keviniole.com, I covered the last two events. And the last event in particular, you were coaching with the purple hair. You were very, very noticeable. There is a wide disparity of opinion on this sport, right? There's some people who love it and go crazy. I put a video up of Sheena Bathory getting knocked out, which had 1.7 million views on Instagram. But the comments in there, they either love it or they hate it. Is that what you see?
Everywhere I look, somebody's got something bad to say, but then you look deep enough and there's people who really love it and can see it for what it is, you know. It's not like any other sport or any other competition. This is truly a test of toughness. I mean, you got little girls like Ronda, the bearded bitch, going up there and just complaining about everything, whining, crying. And I mean, even before we got on the stage, this fucking girl's crying about how she's not getting enough camera time. Like, what does she want to be, a model, or does she want to be a fucking slap fighter? I don't know. You know, so shit like that. You know, you got people like Ronda, you got people like you know, the dead battery. They're lame, they're boring. You know, if you're a spectator, you want to see somebody who's going to draw your attention, not just somebody who doesn't even look like they know their ABCs. So
Right. So how do you explain to people, so people that are, you know, in your world, your friends, forget about the public, right? But people that you know, when they go, Austin, why are you doing this? Like, you gave me a really good answer when I talked to you in Las Vegas before. People didn't have a chance to hear that because I wasn't recording it. But explain that. What do you say to people when they say, why do you do this?
you know, since I've started, I've had so many different thoughts on why I've done this, different reasons on why I've done this. And the main thing is really, I'm thrilled with competition. You know, that dog energy, that warrior mentality, going out there and fucking just looking into somebody's soul and ready to rip their fucking heart out of their chest is really what gets me. I've always been a competitor and a nasty one at that. Like in high school football, high school wrestling, I was just mean and fucking dirty. Nobody liked me. The coaches always had to tell me to calm down. And that's where my heart is in it. But, you know, in all reality, I'll put everything into this opportunity because, Kevin, I mean, beforehand, I was living, you know, just a regular Joe life, going to work every day, punching the clock, coming home, doing the same thing, you know, caught up in kind of like a cycle of not too much excitement. And then this came down the road, dude, and I just knew that I had to put everything into it. And it's really me. I love competing like that. You know, I don't give a fuck if I make 100 friends out there or I make one friend out there. I ain't there to be buddies with nobody. I'm out there to rip somebody's fucking throat out.
And you've been doing that. I thought the explanation you gave me about Derrick Henry was very funny. Can you tell me about Derrick Henry when you played him in high school football and how going up against him compares to these athletes in slap fighting?
Oh, dude, so far, I mean, I've been going up with people like Ronda, the bearded bitch, literally, you know, a fucking squirrel of a human. So when I was in high school going up against the Heisman, the great Derrick Henry, Shaka, I mean, I'd split through that A gap sometimes, and they'd have they'd have him coming up the hole, and you hit that guy, and you're not going nowhere. He's running right over you. I mean, I'd went helmet to helmet with that dude, and he just crushes you every time. You got to be some fucking beast to wrap up on him and take him down by yourself. But, you know, I don't think it's just a coincidence, man. I've been around people like that all my life, just the big, mean, dirty motherfuckers, and that's where I get my energy from. Being around people like Derrick, and just this last event, I got to see meet Tom Brady. So
What did he
it's
say to you
just
about, I mean, you weren't competing in the last event, you were coaching, but what did Brady say? Did he like it? Was he surprised that you were doing it?
yeah. So it was a short in passing introduction that I got from Dana. Dana had walked Tom in the back where I was getting McKinney Manu, one of the super heavyweights ready for his
Right.
match. And Dana had came in and said and introduced me to him. He came up and said, "This is Austin." I shook Tom's hand, and I didn't even notice whose hand I was shaking at first. And I'm looking at him, I'm shaking his hand. I'm like, this motherfucker looks so familiar. And then the next thing you know, we get done shaking hands. He walks off, and I'm like, that's fucking Tom Brady.
Yeah.
And he's such a cool guy. He doesn't have much of a no entourage, no like super
Yeah.
fancy. He's a normal guy, man. He's a real normal guy.
You know what gets me, like when you see, I know there are super heavyweights in slap fighting who played in college football or NFL football. But what gets me about Tom Brady is how big he is. Like when you see him, right? He's a quarterback. He's a huge human being.
Yeah, that dude towers over people. I mean, he had to have been a good foot taller than me. I see no problem him seeing over the line. I mean, the quarterback position for that guy is perfect. He's tall and he's athletic. He can see over the line. He's got a mind on him for the sport. I mean, he was one of the smartest quarterbacks to ever do it. Him and Peyton were just right up there.
So I think this show, I want to give you my first impression of the first time I met Austin. I had not talked to him. I was scheduled to interview him later in the day, and I did. And we had a great interview in the back. But I'm at the press conference, and the press conference starts. Jon Anik was running the press conference, the UFC play-by-play guy. And a question was asked to somebody on my far left. And all of a sudden, from the far right, I hear somebody screaming and hollering, and I look over, and it was you. And you're yelling at them. You weren't even fighting them, and you were the whole time during the press conference creating this havoc. And I'm going, "Who is this nut?" And then once I got back and I talked to you, like you were like a smart guy, a fun guy, and I go, "You have this character. Is that what you need to do to be able to go out there and compete? Just get yourself so wired up and so revved up that that you'll lose control for a few minutes?"
So need and wants, we've been facing life with what is really a need and what is a want. Deep down, they're gonna have to sneak in a damn Louisville Slugger, Kev. I mean, they're gonna have to. I mean, they're gonna have to come up with something to put me down on my fucking ass. So I want to go out there and have fun. I want to go out there and enjoy myself and make this motherfucker, have nightmares about me. And that was one of the best things about Ronda. Nobody had ever seen a performance like that from Ronda. And he had never even the dude's got no character. He's literally a wet noodle. There's not much to him. So I think a need. Yeah, you're right. I need that. I love that fucking the war of the mouth, the getting under their skin. I love seeing them get all tense and nervous. So yeah, I need that, but more so I want it. More so I want that battle. I want to see that fear in their eyes. I love it.
Wolverine is one of the best to do this, right? So what makes him good?
I mean, not for right now, dude. I mean, I don't know what he's got under his belt to be considered the best. I mean, he might be the best crybaby. That's all I got for him. Best crybaby.
In your opinion, what does it take to be good at this sport? I mean, obviously you have to have velocity on your slap, but what does it take? How do you withstand those big shots?
Man, we've seen some big muscular guys go up there and get put on their tail, cracked, straight to sleep. It's all about who you are. If you ain't got that dog, there ain't no pretending. You can't act like you got it, and then when you go up there on the stage, all the lights and cameras gets in your face, and then you shut down. So I think if you want to say what it takes to be in this sport, you got to be a dog, man. You just got to be a dog because there's muscle out there, there's quickness out there, there's people who've got MMA experience and all the accolades in the world, to where you think they come on the slap fighting stage and it should be a breeze for them. But, you know, you got, I mean, not to drop any names, but you got people like Nate Bernard, a beast of a human.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the dude. I love the dude. And I think, you know, his last 2 matches will put some fire under his belt. But I think it takes, there's a mental aspect of it that if you don't got, you ain't gonna hang.
Yeah, the King of Kings, Ryan Phillips, put him to sleep the last show, and wow,
Yeah,
he went out like snap.
the Kings is a sick dude. He's sick in the fucking head. He's mental. He's got what it takes. You know, that dude's definitely he's definitely in the right sport. You know, and even from where me and him started, my first match, he started fucking, you know, Jon at me, and we're going back and forth, and we had this rivalry built up. But I think just the similarities kind of brought us together, and I got to coach him his last match, and it was fun. It was fun getting him up there.
What was the gig with the purple hair that you were wearing? You had the purple wig on the whole time.
Yeah, man, it was Team No Love, man. I had Manny Muniz from the get go. As soon as I heard that match was going down, I had my boy No Love, and you know, it was an honor to be able to throw that wig on. I got to be a part of the No Love squad, so Team No Love all day.
You know, I don't know if you noticed this, but during one of the prelim fights, the guy that you were coaching, I don't remember what fight it was. Some of the fans were like giving him a hard time and screaming at him, and he starts turning to the crowd and flipping them off, and like they were arguing back and forth, and you were kind of, you know, shouting them down. And to me, like, you never see that in a professional sport, and that was one of the things I got a big kick out of, was the fact that, you know, kind of going back and forth. Are you guys intentionally trying to be showmen and sort of, you know, play to the crowd and do that type of thing?
Yeah, if you're in the crowd and you got some fucking lame ass square up there like Ronda, you know, crying, going back and forth, not really putting out much energy. I mean, like, what's the dude up there? We're not here to play chess. This isn't a fucking checkers game. We're not, you know, this isn't Monopoly. We're up here to fucking knock each other out. This is a test of toughness. So you got to go out there and have some fun. You got to go out there and have some fun. We only got one life, dude. I'm going out there and making the most of it, bro.
Do you, I asked you this before, but since you're on camera, I want to ask you again. Do you concern yourself with, hey, I might get CTE from this?
Dude, if I'd have more mental issues if I was just stuck at a 9 to 5, working Monday through Saturday, just going, punching the clock and being somebody's little bitch boy. That'd give me more mental issues than CTE ever will. Right. I'm a slow thinker anyhow. I like to take my time when I think anyhow. So.
And he has a good job, so he's giving you a hard time there. But the man has a good job.
Yeah, so, this dude's been my barber here. He's been with me for a long time. You know, since I've been in high school, he cuts my family, he cuts all my friends. So this is a good dude. I'm right in the right spot, in good hands.
I would come down and visit him, but I think I'd be overpaying. So I'm gonna pass on that.
We could do. He got something for you.
Okay, man. Well, next time I'm in Jacksonville, I'm coming to see him. I need his phone number when we're off the air. Last thing. What is the money like in this? Are you able to, you know, make decent money on this? Is this something that you feel like is legitimately going to be able to help you support your family?
Mr. Kevin, to wrap this whole thing up, that's a great question. This has changed my life. Mrs. Erica, if you're watching, thank you. Mr. Frank, if you're watching, thank you. Hunter, Dana, if you guys are watching, thank you so much. And I'm going to continue to put my fucking ass out there and grind for y'all. This has changed my life so much, Kev. I mean, I just got married last year. I just bought a house. I own my vehicle. I'm about to finance a boat. This has completely changed my life, dude. I was just working a fucking 9 to 5, check to check, hoping that I'd be able to have steak for dinner on Fridays, you know? So now I'm honestly living the dream, and you know, for a regular guy like me, just to maybe get a chance to speak to somebody who's living that same life, do whatever it fucking takes. Anytime you see an opportunity like this, put your all into it. Don't half-ass nothing. If you're going to do a job, do it fucking right. And this has changed my life completely. The money is amazing, Kev. I mean, and I'm traveling all over the place. I just got to go to a beautiful resort. When I'd never been to Vegas before. I mean, I've only seen it on the TVs. And when I was out there, it was even better than the TV. all the lights, the cameras, the this and that all over the place.
Did you go to Irv's Burgers, by the way, when you were there?
Dude, did I? I was in the kitchen. I was getting them fresh off the grill, dude. I was getting them fresh off the grill. And I had a big shout out to Irv's Burgers. That place has got it going on.
Yeah,
shout out to Irv's Burgers.
I always thought In-N-Out was the best burger, but after trying Irv's, boy, oh boy, it's a hard one.
You got to come sit in my kitchen. I'll serve you up something that'll have you licking your chops.
We got it. We got a deal there. Austin Turpin is fighting Wolverine on April 12th in Las Vegas. Power Slap 7.
No, I'm retiring the Wolverine, Kev. Yeah, it's the Wolverine's retirement. It's the time the bearded bitch sets it all down and I take over the show. This is my time to shine. Fuck Ronda. You heard the man. Kevin said it. April 12th, live and free on that Rumble app, baby. Be there, be square.
We will see you, brother. Thank you for your time. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.